In the glittering world of Hollywood, where fame shines brighter than reason, one woman's voice was silenced for over a decade. Britney Spears, a pop icon whose music defined a generation, lived a life that millions envied. But behind the perfect smile, the flashing cameras, and the sold-out concerts, there existed a silent cry for freedom. This is the story of how one of the world's biggest stars became a prisoner under her own name, trapped by a legal system meant to protect her, and how she eventually fought back against it. When Britney Spears was placed under a conservatorship in 2008, it seemed like a necessary step. The public had witnessed her breakdown, the infamous head-shaving incident, the umbrella attack on paparazzi, the erratic behavior that tabloids devoured like vultures. The media painted her as unstable, dangerous to herself, and unfit to handle her own life. So when a Los Angeles court granted her father, Jamie Spears, full control of her finances and personal affairs, the public sighed in relief. It looked like a father saving his daughter. But over the next 13 years, it would become one of the most controversial and heartbreaking cases in entertainment history. At first, it sounded simple. Jamie would manage her money and make sure she was safe. But very soon, the arrangement took on a darker tone. Britney was one of the most hardworking entertainers in the world, performing sold-out tours, releasing albums, and headlining a multi-million-dollar Las Vegas residency, all while legally declared incapable of managing her own affairs. How could a woman capable of earning hundreds of millions of dollars be declared unfit to control a single cent? Behind closed doors, Britney's life was not her own. She couldn't drive her car, couldn't make phone calls freely, and even the people she met were controlled by her conservators. Her father, Jamie, had full authority over her career decisions, her personal relationships, her health, and every financial transaction. Even medical choices were dictated for her. In her own words years later, "I was told what to do, what to wear, what to think, every single day." For years, Britney stayed silent. Some say she was scared. Others believe she was strategically silenced. Each time she tried to speak out, her statements were filtered through her team. To the outside world, she seemed happy, smiling through interviews, performing flawlessly. But fans began to notice small cracks, coded messages in Instagram posts, strange captions, and videos where her eyes seemed to plead for help. Slowly, whispers began to form into a movement, #FreeBritney. The Free Britney movement started in 2009 as a fringe group of concerned fans. They believed the conservatorship was abusive, and that Britney was being exploited by her family and management. For years, their claims were dismissed as conspiracy theories, until 2019, when a paralegal who claimed to work on Britney's legal team leaked information to a podcast called Britney's Gram. The insider claimed that Britney was being held against her will in a mental health facility because she refused to follow her father's orders. The world began to listen. The story exploded. Media outlets who once mocked her began to re-examine their role in her downfall. Documentaries like Framing Britney Spears and Controlling Britney Spears exposed the hidden reality behind her conservatorship. The public outrage was massive. Protesters gathered outside Los Angeles courthouses holding "Free Britney" signs, chanting for her independence. If you're enjoying this deep dive into one of the most shocking celebrity legal battles, make sure to like and subscribe to Court Logs, where we uncover real courtroom stories that shook the world. By mid-2020, Britney's silence broke. Through confidential court documents leaked to the media, it was revealed that she had been quietly fighting for years to remove her father. Her lawyers argued that Jamie was unfit, citing control, emotional abuse, and conflicts of interest. Britney had repeatedly requested more freedom, even the ability to hire her own attorney, but her pleas were denied, as the conservatorship granted her no legal autonomy. Then came the turning point, June 23, 2021. For the first time in over a decade, Britney spoke directly to the court. Her voice trembled, but her words were powerful. She described the conservatorship as abusive, claiming she was forced to take medication she didn't want, prevented from removing her IUD so she couldn't have children, and made to perform against her will. The courtroom was stunned. "I just want my life back," she told the judge. "It's been 13 years, and it's enough." That testimony changed everything. Public support surged. Celebrities, politicians, and even former fans who had once judged her rallied behind Britney. Her father's legal team scrambled to defend the conservatorship, insisting it was for her safety, but the world wasn't buying it anymore. Britney Spears became one of the most hated figures in pop culture, seen as a man profiting off his daughter's captivity. Legal momentum followed. Britney was finally allowed to choose her own lawyer, Matthew Rosengart, a fierce former federal prosecutor. Within weeks, Rosengart filed motions accusing Jamie of financial misconduct and surveillance violations, including secretly recording Britney's private conversations, even those with her lawyers. The case took on the air of a true crime investigation, exposing the rot behind a supposedly protective arrangement. On September 29, 2021, the court suspended Britney Spears as conservator. It wasn't the end of the conservatorship yet, but it was the moment everything shifted. Judge Brenda Penny ruled that Jamie's control was untenable, citing the need for Britney's best interests. Jamie's removal was a victory celebrated worldwide. Streets outside the courthouse erupted in cheers. Fans cried. Britney posted a simple caption online, "Best day ever." 2 months later, on November 12, 2021, it finally happened. After 13 long years, the conservatorship was terminated in full. Britney Spears was free. No more court-ordered control, no more guardians dictating her life. When the ruling was announced, the courtroom broke into applause, something rarely seen in legal settings. Outside, hundreds of supporters screamed her name. The judge's words echoed through history: "The conservatorship of the person and the estate of Britney Jean Spears is hereby terminated." Freedom didn't erase the scars. Britney later spoke about her trauma, her mistrust of the legal system, and her struggles with the people she once loved. She also began using her social media to reclaim her voice, unfiltered and sometimes chaotic, but undeniably her own. For many, it was a reminder of how fame, wealth, and even family can become tools of control. For others, it was a symbol of resilience, proof that even after years of silence, the truth can still rise. In later interviews and posts, Britney revealed chilling details. She said she was watched 24/7, her credit cards taken away, and she was not allowed to marry or have children. "They made me feel like I was dead," she wrote. "Like I didn't matter." These revelations turned her case into a global conversation about mental health, women's rights, and abuse of power. Lawmakers even proposed reforms to the conservatorship system in California, naming them the Free Britney laws. Even after her release, the story continued. Her father demanded payment of his legal fees from her estate. Her former team denied the surveillance accusations. And her fans, the same group once dismissed as conspiracy theorists, became her lifelong defenders. The media, too, tried to atone for its role in her humiliation, though the damage could never be undone. Today, Britney lives her life largely out of the spotlight. Her memoir, The Woman in Me, shares her side of the story, from a young girl turned pop machine to a woman who had to fight for the right to simply exist. Whether performing again or not, Britney's biggest victory wasn't in a chart-topping single, it was reclaiming her identity from a system that treated her like property. This case remains one of the most significant in celebrity legal history, not just because of who Britney Spears is, but because of what it revealed about how the law can be weaponized against the vulnerable, even those at the top of the world. It raised questions that still echo today: how many others are trapped under similar systems, unheard and unseen? On Court Logs, we've covered numerous shocking legal stories, but Britney's battle stands apart as a haunting example of how justice can take years to reach the right hands. Her courage didn't just change her own fate, it redefined an entire system. And as you finish this story, remember, on our channel, we've covered many more cases like this, tales of power, control, and resilience you'll see linked right at the end of this video. Don't miss them, each one reveals another layer of truth behind the courtroom doors.